Mr. Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa is the President of the Republic of South Africa, a position he was appointed to on February 15, 2018. Mr. Ramaphosa was appointed Chairman of the National Planning Commission on June 3, 2014. In December 2012, he was elected Deputy President of the African National Congress, ANC. Mr. Ramaphosa completed his schooling at Mphaphuli High School in Sibasa, South Africa in 1971. He holds a law degree from the University of South Africa obtained in 1981. Mr. Ramaphosa has also received several honorary doctorates from local and international universities, including the University of Massachusetts, the University of Cape Town, the National University of Lesotho, the University of KwaZulu-Natal, and the University of the North. Mr. Ramaphosa was Deputy President of the Republic of South Africa from May 25, 2014 until February 15, 2018. Mr. Ramaphosa began his studies at the University of the North in 1972, where he became involved in student politics, joining the South African Student Organization, SASO, and the Black People's Convention, BPC. He was detained in 1974 for organizing pro-Frelimo rallies that were held to celebrate the independence of Mozambique. He was detained for the second time in 1976 following the Soweto student uprising and later imprisoned. Mr. Ramaphosa became the first General Secretary of the National Union of Mine Workers in 1982. In 1991, he was elected ANC Secretary General and subsequently became head of the ANC team that negotiated the transition to democracy. Following the country's first democratic elections in 1994, he was elected chairperson of the Constitutional Assembly, which wrote South Africa's new democratic constitution. Mr. Ramaphosa moved into the private sector in 1996. He was the executive chairperson of Shanduka Group, which he founded in 2001. Mr. Ramaphosa became the first deputy chairperson of Commonwealth Business Council. He served as the deputy chairperson of the National Planning Commission from 2010 until 2014. He received the Olof Palme Prize in Stockholm in 1987 and was included among the Times 100 most influential people in the world in 2007. In 2009, he was awarded the National Order of the Baobab in silver by President Jacob Zuma for his contribution to the multi-party negotiations and for chairing the Constitutional Assembly to draft the new constitution. Cyril Matamela Ramaphosa was born in Johannesburg, Transvaal, now Gauteng, on November 17, 1952. He is the second of the three children of Erdmouth and Samuel Ramaphosa, a retired policeman. He grew up in the southwestern Native Township, Soweto, attending a local primary school and Mphaphuli High School, Soweto. In 1971 he matriculated from Mphaphuli High School in Sibasa, Limpopo. In 1972 he registered at the University of the North, Turfloop, for a BProc degree. He became involved in students' politics and joined the South African Students' Organization, SASO, in 1972. In 1974 he served as the chairman of the branch. In the same year, he was chairman of the Student Christian Movement. After the pro-Frelimo rally at the university in 1974, Ramaphosa was detained for 11 months under Section 6 of the Terrorism Act. On his release he joined the Black People Convention, BPC, holding posts on various committees. He obtained articles with a Johannesburg firm of attorneys while working for BPC. In June 1976, following the unrest in Soweto, Ramaphosa was again detained under Terrorism Act for 6 months and this time held at John Vorster Square. On his release he continued with his articles and completed his Proc degree through correspondence with the University of South Africa, UNISA, in 1981. He completed his articles in the same year, and joined the Council of Unions of South Africa, CUSA, as an advisor in the legal department. In August 1982, CUSA resolved to form National Union of Mine Workers, NUMBER, and in December Ramaphosa became its first secretary. Ramaphosa was conference organizer in the preparations leading to the formations of the Congress of South African Trade Union, CUSA. He delivered a keynote address at CUSA's launch rally in Durban in December 1985. In March 1986 he was part of CUSA's delegation which met the African National Congress, ANC, in Lusaka, Zambia. In July 1986, after the declaration of the state of emergency, Ramaphosa went into hiding after security police swoops on the homes and offices of the political activists. He traveled to United Kingdom and appeared with President, James Motlatsi, at a conference of the British National Union mine workers. Ramaphosa was refused a passport to travel to Britain in September 1987, but when he became the recipient of the Olof Palme Prize, was permitted to travel to Stockholm to receive it. In December 1988, Ramaphosa and other prominent members of the Soweto community met Soweto's mayor to discuss the rent boycott crisis. In January 1990, Ramaphosa accompanied released ANC political prisoners to Lusaka, Zambia. Ramaphosa served as chairman of the National Reception Committee, which coordinated arrangements for the release of Nelson Mandela and subsequent welcome rallies within South Africa, and also became a member of the International Mandela Reception Committee. He was elected General Secretary of the ANC in a conference held in Durban in July 1991. Ramaphosa was a visiting professor of law at Stanford University in the United States of America in October 1991. In his capacity as a General Secretary he became the head of the negotiations commissions of the ANC and participated in the Convention for a Democratic South Africa, CUSA. Ramaphosa was present at the ANC's March on Bisho on September 7, 1992, when Ciskei troops fired on the crowd, killing 24 and wounding 2,000. In May 1994 he was elected chairperson of the new Constitutional Assembly. A position he resigned in May 1996 together with that of General Secretary of the ANC. Ramaphosa is the executive chairman of Millennium Consolidated Investment, MCI, and non-executive chairman of Jonic Holdings, MTN Group Limited and Sasria. He is the past chairman of the Black Economic Empowerment Commission. His directorships include South African Breweries, First Rand Limited, Max Teal Holdings, Alexander Forbes and Medsheen Limited. In August 2012, Laman, a company that Ramaphosa was a non-executive board member, was dealing with an unprotected strike. The strike eventually climaxed with the Marikana massacre that left 34 mine workers dead at the hands of the police. In December of the same year he was elected as ANC Deputy President. On February 3, 2013 he resigned from his position at Lomnam. In 2015, the Marikana Commission of Inquiry cleared Ramaphosa of any responsibility. President Jacob Zuma appointed Ramaphosa as the Deputy President of the state in 2014 after he was elected Deputy President of ANC in 2012. As a result of this, Ramaphosa resigned from a number of positions, most notably as chairman of the Shanduka Group Investment Group which he started in 1997. Ramaphosa was then appointed by the President to the position of Special Envoy to South Sudan to act as a mediator in the conflict between different factions in South Sudan. As of 2017, Ramaphosa continues to act in this capacity despite allegations by South Sudanese rebels that he had been receiving bribes. In September 2017, Ramaphosa headed the unsuccessful South African bid for the 2023 Rugby World Cup in London. On December 18, 2017 he was elected to the position of President of the ANC, narrowly edging out Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma. Ramaphosa is married to Dr. Tshepo Mosep and they have 4 children. He became president following the resignation of Jacob Zuma. Previously an anti-apartheid activist, trade union leader and businessman, Ramaphosa served as the Deputy President of South Africa from 2014 to 2018. Ramaphosa was elected unopposed as President of South Africa by the National Assembly on February 15, 2018. Ramaphosa took his oath of office in the Presidential Guest House, Tunhuis, by Chief Justice Mogoeng Mogoeng. Comrade Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa has been elected President of the African National Congress at its 54th National Conference in Nasrec, Soweto, on December 18, 2017. He is the 13th President of the ANC since its founding. Before his election, he served as the Deputy President of the ANC under the leadership of President Jacob Zuma as part of the National Executive Committee of the ANC as elected in 2012. He is the current Deputy President of the Republic of South Africa in the ANC's fifth administration in government. Comrade Cyril Ramaphosa has served in the National Executive Committee of the ANC for 26 years. He was elected to the position of ANC Secretary-General at the 1991 National Conference, the first conference of the ANC in the country after unbanning, under the presidency of Nelson Mandela. He began his political activism in the 1970s during the period of students' uprisings in the country, organized behind the banner of the Black Consciousness Movement, which came to head during the June 16, 1976 massacre. His election into the ANC and especially to the position of Secretary-General followed his reputation as an effective organizer and trade union leader following his term as General Secretary of the National Union of Mine Workers, NUMBER. He led the founding processes of the NUMBER and went on to lead the union to stage one of the biggest and most effective industrial strikes in South Africa in 1987, leading to a 3-week shutdown of the entire mining industry. He emerged out of that political standoff between labor and capital as a renowned negotiator, reputed for his tough approach and ability to push a hard bargain whilst maintaining the respect of his opponents. As part of his role as Secretary-General, he served as chief negotiator for the ANC at the Congress for a Democratic South Africa, CUSA, at which the framework for a democratic transition was being mapped out. His experience as a negotiator in industrial conflicts asserted him as one of the key players in breaking stalemates and initiating strategic areas of consensus between opposing parties in that process. After the first democratic elections in 1994, Comrade Cyril Ramaphosa was deployed in Parliament by the ANC and was elected as chairperson of the Constitutional Assembly tasked with drafting the new Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. He was re-elected as Secretary-General of the ANC in its 49th National Conference in 1994. Thank you for watching this video.